it ain't broke. Yeah, let's talk about the harmonica a little bit too. Like when I'm playing on the harmonica, especially on that song, it's fairly simple stuff. And do we have any harmonica players in here at all? You got one, okay, so you're going to know it's going to be elementary for you probably. But for some of the people, they don't understand. This song that I was just playing, I'm Ready, it's in the key of E. So you got the key of E, it's just a 1, 4, 5, so you go to the A, and you go to the B, because we counted up A, B, C, and or E, E, F, G, A, is your 4 chord, and then B is your 5 chord. But when you play harmonica in blues, you want to use for the key E on guitar, use the A harmonica, because the way the harmonica is set up, it's set up as a major scale. But there's some of the notes in the blues scale that are similar to a major scale. If you go up four keys, some of the notes are similar, and you do a lot of draw notes. But some of the notes that aren't in that scale, you have to bend them, and it's a certain way you use your mouth. What you're actually doing is you're bending that reed, and to do that, you actually have your, say this is your mouth, and your teeth are here. So you're looking at me sideways. And it's a strange thing you do, but you have your tongue here, and you have to drop your jaw and pull your tongue in. And the way that draws air into the harmonica, it actually helps to bend that note. And it works 2 reeds at the same time to get that sound. And it's a really strange thing. It's a really odd thing to try to teach people how to do. But once you do it, then you can really get that effect of the notes bending, and you can hit notes in the scale that aren't really on the harmonica like that. It's like bending notes. And that's what makes it sound like it's crying. But if you try, if I give you a harmonica and you draw in a note, you're going to be like, how the hell do you do that? And you can't explain it. It's not like guitar where you say, do this, put your fingers here and play a C chord. It's something that you have to, like I said, you drop your jaw and you pull your tongue back, and it actually makes that note bend. So you can actually get notes that aren't really on the harmonica. And the harmonica is actually tuned the same as an accordion. The way the notes are and the scales are, it's very similar. But you can't bend a note on the accordion because you don't have your mouth, you don't have your armature of your mouth to actually pull that reed down. So that's one thing about playing harmonica. Another thing about playing harmonica is you can pull chords. And then when you're playing, especially in one-man band format, you want to do a thing called tongue blocking to fill up the sound. So instead of just playing, just one note at a time. I'm playing one note at a time. But if you can, you have all these reeds. You have 10 reeds in the harmonica. You have 10 holes. There's 2 reeds on each hole. So if you blow into a hole, you get one note. And if you draw in air, you get another reed. There's 2 reeds like this. You blow, one of them vibrates, and if you draw in, suck air in, then this one vibrates. And when you're bending notes, it's what it causes them to kind of do this. But what you want to do with, you can take a tongue blocking technique, and what you do is you can picture all these reeds like this, and picture this is your tongue. So you can actually block some holes with your tongue. So some of the notes that don't fit in a chord, you stop them with your tongue. And it sounds like this. So you get, that's a whole chord. I'm just drawing in all the notes, and I can block some of the notes with this sound. I'm pushing my tongue out and blocking the notes and pulling it back. So. You see what I'm saying? I'm actually blocking some holes with my tongue. So you get rhythmic sounds when you do that. I'm not even moving the holes. I'm just pulling my tongue back on certain holes. So now when you play your melody notes and you pull your tongue back, you get rhythmic stuff going. One note at a time. And then if you have your tongue blocking, you're drawing all the notes. bigger, it's a lot fuller sound. So with that, with the bending the notes and doing that tongue blocking thing, you can actually get a full sound on just a small little instrument such as this. I'll do a little solo here, just a straight ahead 1-4-5 blues with single notes and then tongue blocking. It's all just single notes. Now if I do the tongue blocking and play the full chords and block the notes, I'll try to play the same solo. You get your tongue moving, then you get that little warble. It sounds kind of cool. You always hear like Little Walter and Sonny Boy Williams, all those guys, they always end a song going. And their tongues just went la 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 la. And what's funny too is you're not only blocking some notes, but it's part of your lip. There's one part that blocks some of the high holes. So you have maybe 2 holes that are outside your mouth, and this blocks off your highest note that you want to play. And then your chord is down here. And you block that chord with your tongue. So the chords that's going na 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 na, and your melody notes coming out here, just that little tiny side hole in your mouth. So it's a really strange feeling when you first start learning how to do it, and your cheeks get sore and your tongue gets tired when you first learn how to start doing that kind of stuff. And that's some straight ahead blues that kind of explains a little bit about the drum technique and the harmonica technique that I'm doing, a little about the simple blues guitar straight ahead stuff that I'm doing. I also like to play, that's just kind of straight ahead Mississippi blues, where Chicago blues evolved from. But back in the 1920s and 1930s, there was a spin-off of blues, and they called it Piedmont blues. And that came from not Mississippi area, or Louisiana, or Chicago, but it came from the eastern states, from Virginia all the way down to Florida. So, you know, you got Virginia, the Carolinas, Georgia, and a lot of those eastern states, some of those guys are playing blues, and they were trying to imitate piano players. So they're doing the same thing where they're doing the bass line with the thumb that we talked about. You're doing chords with your fingers, but they got more complicated with the chords and they got more syncopated rhythms. And one of my favorite pickers is Blind Blake, because he's from Florida. That's where I'm from. And I'm just going to play a song of his, and then we'll talk about the technique real quick. The song's called "That Will Never Happen No More." And the song's about a man that was partying and getting drunk and getting in trouble. And you know how it is every morning when you have too much fun, you say, "That'll never happen no more." Girl in a cabaret, she said, "Pretty Papa, I'm going your way." The man knew what it's all about. He was waiting at home just to throw me out. He broke my nose, split my chin, and said, "Don't let me catch you here again." He whooped me from the kitchen to the back door. He beat me with a chair till my head got sore. But that'll never happen no more. That'll never happen no more. That'll never happen no more. Happen no more. Look, waiting in Chicago, winter and falls would cause me to wear my overalls. I got broke, it was my fault. I was eating steak, chicken, and pork chops. I met a little girl, she wanted to give me some. Like a fool, I followed her home. She pulled a gun, took my money and more. She didn't leave me mad, I didn't get sold. But that'll never happen no more. 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 They call that Piedmont Blues a ragtime picking. And yeah, let's see. We'll explore another song. There's another song, and they only use 4 chords in this song. It's Blind Boy Fuller did this. He was in the same school, and the same played some of the same areas as Blind Blake. And he did some of that ragtime blues and Piedmont blues. And you know, you got the 1-4-5 and regular straight ahead blues, but this thing has only got 4 chords. It's got 1 extra chord. And they really do a lot with those 4 chords. This one is just E, A, D, and G. And what they do is they take different E chords. So you can find an E here, find an E here, find an E here, find an E here. So that's your first chord. Then you got A. Those are all A chords. And then you got, you know, your D's, and then your G's. And you do, instead of the turnaround in blues, they're doing a bass line turnaround. And it's the same thing, but they're, instead of doing like how we did on that first song, thumping that one note for your bass, they get a little more complicated basically. And then turn around. Listen to that. There's just 4 chords, and the 4 chords just repeat the whole song. They repeat the whole song, and what you do on top of that is you get kind of like what a lead guitar player would play with just, you know, single note stuff. When you put them all together, it's pretty cool. It gets kind of complicated. Just listen to that bass line the whole time if you can. Well, I'm going to town, had my hand, before the woman ain't got no man. Might as well look on needle and sand, before the woman ain't got no man already. Well, you get one great, but it gets 2. One play for them, one for you. Got me a wife and a sweetheart too. My wife told me my sweetheart too already. Same thing, I'm just playing the E, A, D, and a G. And the whole song, it just does the same thing, and you just keep your bass line. And then you do your picking, and there's different patterns you can do with your right hand picking. I don't know if we got any guitar players in here. All right, you ever play any fingerstyle guitar? A little bit, okay. Instead of doing lead notes with, you know, with a pick, your fingers do certain patterns on the string. So let's see. Really simple pattern, but when you put it with it's like this whole big sound that's coming out of there. So it's you think of it as 2 different things. Your thumb goes on autopilot. No matter what chord you're playing. And for you guitar players, what I'm doing is I'm doing C-shaped chords, and I'm doing 5th string, 4th string, 6th string, 4th string. So 5, 5, 4, 6, 4. that's so easy to play with your fingers, and it's so easy to do this. But when you put them together, you can use that same pattern, and if you just change your chords, you get. All I'm doing is just how you normally go. Once you do those patterns with it, then you get this really big, fat, full sound. And then, so once you get those, you get your technique down with these two fingers, and they just go on autopilot. You do the same thing the whole time, and your thumb just boom, 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 the whole time. Then all you got to do is move your chords around, and then you get the simple version of ragtime. But you get more complicated with that. Once you get that pattern down, then you can improv melodies on top of that. And usually when I play, my thumb just stays there, just does it, keeps that rhythm going. We'll do, we'll do a little improv on that same chord progression we're doing. Once you improv those little melody notes, your thumb's doing the same thing. You get this really fat sound. And what the guitar players were trying to do was imitate a piano player. And the piano player's getting with his left hand and doing all this chord stuff with his right hand. And that's where that Piedmont ragtime stuff comes in, and it's a big influence on my playing. Not many people do that anymore. I think it's kind of a tricky thing to play, and it's not real popular. So why to do something hard if a lot of people aren't into it? So. But it's good that I can explain that to you. We're going to get back on something a little different now. We're going to switch gears here. Talk about some hill country blues, which is a whole different style. We're going to go to an open tuning now, if you guys are familiar with guitar. And if you're not, standard guitar, you have all these strange chords that you have to do with your fingers, and your left hand is doing all this crazy stuff. But I'll show you a trick for hill country blues. You tune your E string down to a D, your A string down to a G, and then your small E string down to a D. Now before I had to make a G chord like this, and if you ever tried to play guitar and you were a beginner, it's hard to get your fingers to get all in that position, but if you can tune your guitar like this, now you have a G chord. Makes it pretty simple to play G. Now, if you want your 4 chord, then it's you count up 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually on your 5th fret, and your 7th fret's your 5 chord. So if you want to play some blues. It's a good way to cheat. you can play some stuff pretty simple that way. We're gonna switch over here and put this guitar into the guitar amp, because we get more of that hill country blues sound.